Last time, we saw a suspicious-looking woman who was observing Rimuru from a distance. She is revealed to be the former student of the hero, Shizue Izawa, and is currently the chief knight of the Holy Emperor's Imperial Guard and the captain of the Western Holy Church Crusaders, called Hinata Sakaguchi. She receives a letter from an Eastern merchant, and, in that letter, she reads a detailed report about the kingdom of monsters, called the Jura Tempest Federation, which is located in the Great Forest of Jura. She gets to know that the country consists of various race of monsters, such as goblin, ogre, orc and lizard man. The letter also reveals about the cultural and technological advances that are being made in that country. The monster kingdom of Tempest has already formed alliance with the kingdom of Dworgen and the kingdom of Blumend, and the one leading the country is none other than our boy Rimuru, who looks a lot similar to Hinata's former master, Shizue Izawa. As a former student of Shizue, just what could Hinata be thinking about Rimuru?
So.
At present, Rimuru is discussing with his students about their upcoming exams and entrusts his class to another teacher called Tis, as he needs to return to Tempest Federation for some leader work. We get to know that, after forming the non-aggression pact with Carrion and his Beast Kingdom, they are now planning to exchange embassy members between their country in order to learn more about each other. From the side of Tempest Federation, Benimaru is appointed as the embassy leader, followed by his assistant Rigger. And Rimuru gives a dandy-ass speech at the gathering and reveals his plan about this exchange student program before sending them off. A bit later, Trainee appears and informs Rimuru about the arrival of the Beast Kingdom's embassy, along with the arrival of our happy-go-lucky hero squad of Tempest Federation. A few days later, the embassy of the Beast Kingdom arrive at the Tempest Federation, and we meet the 3 Beastketeer of the Beast Kingdom Brigade. Snake Lady, Alvis. Tiger Girl, Sophia. No title idiot, Grucius. But things take a rough turn when the discussion goes sideways, and a fight begins between the Tempest Federation and the 3 Beastketeers of the Beast Kingdom.
Bring it on.
The fight reaches its climax, and, just when Booby Girl is about to fire off her Kamehameha, the Snake Lady jumps in between them and stops the fight. Both sides start complimenting each other about their powers, and Rimuru is glad that things are starting to settle down. But the Kamehameha that we all forgot about is starting to turn into a spirit bomb, and everyone is scared out of their minds upon seeing it. But, just before Booby Girl blasts them into oblivion, Rimuru leaps out of Shuna's hands, and goes on to eat the spirit bomb, like a piece of cookie.
Let me! There.
At night, after a grand dining event, the negotiations start between Tempest and Eurazania, and both kingdoms begin exchanging technologies and establishing trade routes. But, since our boy is a bit dumb about trading and stuff, he calls upon Kobe for further discussions. And Rimuru leaves the Beastmen look-alike to handle the rest of the discussion and settle the rest of their business. A few days later, the embassy representatives head back to their respective kingdoms, while a group of Beastmen stay back in the Tempest to learn their technologies. After things settle down in their country, Rimuru pays a visit to King Gazel, along with Booby Girl, Cute Waifu, and the Dwarf Brothers. Meanwhile, we see that this idiot, called Demon Lord Clayman, is preparing a terrorist plan against Rimuru's country using a mysterious lady named Muran. At their discussion, Rimuru informs to Gazel about the recent events, and clears out the misunderstanding about Demon Lord, Malim. Since Gazel already believes our boy, he accepts his explanation, and orders his commander to do the same thing. Just then, Shuna brings out the newly created version of apple brandy to serve everyone. Both of them are amazed at the awesome design of the glass. Just kidding, they are also surprised at how good it tastes. When they start asking about the countries he has used to get the necessary ingredients, Gazel and Dorf are both shocked to hear that Rimuru has also become friends with the demon lord, Carrion. Since he has the support of 2 demon lords at present, they start predicting that Tempest Federation is probably going to become a bigger influence than Dworgen Kingdom in the coming years. To this, Gazel starts talking about the kingdom of Falmouth and its greedy little king. But the meeting ends abruptly when Shion gets drunk and Rimuru ends up carrying out his secretary on his way back to their rooms. The next day, they conduct a country-wide event to reveal the alliance between the Tempest Federation and the Dworgen Kingdom officially in front of all Dworgen citizens. Later, Rimuru and his friends ditch their lady friends to visit the paradise of super sexy elves that he visited during his last stay. They all enter the paradise, and we meet some of the sexiest elves on the planet. Our boy Rimuru, the dwarves, and the goblins have some kinky fun time at the paradise. And, while they are about to get back to their rooms, they are all caught by Rimuru's Yandere waifus, and they all get spanked. Meanwhile, we see that Muran makes contact with Yum and his group. She tries to join their group in order to infiltrate the Tempest Federation, and a duel begins between her and Yum when she starts insulting his group.
Bluff.
Just you wait, I will beat you.
Pathetic. I had no idea you lacked basic resistance to abnormal statuses.
Having lost to her this easily, he accepts her as a teammate. Back at the school, Rimuru congratulates his students of Class S on passing the exams, and promises to give them the complete manga book of the anime, Parasite. A couple of days later, Yum returns to Tempest, along with his new companion, Muran, and he is still unaware of the fact that she is a spy, working for Demon Lord Clayman. While having a tour of the country with Yum, she begins her observation about the Tempest Federation and finding out details related to her mission. During their visit, they stop at the training ground, where she meets Grucius and Gobda, while they are training with Hakura. Rimuru meets up with Myrmile to talk about their ongoing businesses, and we find out that Rimuru has recently signed a non-aggression pact with the Kingdom of Blumend as well. And he warns Rimuru to be careful about the Kingdom of Falmouth and their greedy-ass king. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Falmouth, their leaders view Tempest's growth in power as a threat to their country. And this baldy potato head, called Rayheim, proposes the king with an evil plan in order to invade the Tempest Federation. Agreeing to his plans, the king allows him to proceed, and he orders this old man to use the summoned Otherworlders as their secret weapon to win this war. Let me introduce the Otherworlders. Arrogant dipshit. Crazy bitch. Silent gay boy. Back to the story, we see that Rimuru is lost in his thoughts of protecting the Tempest Federation, while Clayman is planning some dirty-ass schemes with Meline. Back at the village, Lover Boy is trying to flirt with the magic lady, and we see that a star-crossed love plot is beginning to evolve. Since Rimuru has been out of the country for a long time, everyone is seen to be happily arranging a festival for his return. Just when Muran is watching over Yum and Grucius, Clayman contacts her to give new orders regarding the mission. Meanwhile, Benimaru receives information from Sui and his team that a large number of armed men are marching towards the Tempest, and according to intel, they doubt that the Kingdom of Falmouth must be trying to wage a war against their country. And, just as they are about to inform Rimuru of the current situation, Snake Lady contacts them, and she requests them to provide shelter for their citizens, as it is revealed that Demon Lord Meline is going to attack the Beast Kingdom, and her connection suddenly gets cut off. The three idiots arrive at the Tempest Federation, and they start throwing tantrums, as they are super jealous after seeing the development of this country. Mr. Dipshit plans to kill the slime that rules this country in order to become the new king, but Gay Boy stops him, since their actual plan is to start a riot in this country, so that the Falmouth Kingdom can start the war. They proceed to act out their role, and poor Gobzo is caught up in their evil scheme. Gobta appears just in time, and he is able to save him from that situation. Shuna and Xian also arrive there, asking the three idiots to leave their country, and the argument starts escalating into a fight. Just then, Clayman orders Muran to summon an anti-magic barrier that negates all forms of communication within the Tempest Federation. Muran starts preparing to activate the barrier, but she is caught by Grucius, and he finds out that Magic Lady is actually a demon who serves under Demon Lord Clayman, and, while they are talking about the plan, Yum overhears their conversation. Yum tries to stop Muran, and in spite of knowing that she is a demon, he goes on to confess his love for her. But, since Clayman already has her heart, she has no other choice, and she starts casting her magic. And, she creates the barrier, engulfing the entire city. Just as this is happening, the Kingdom of Falmouth creates another barrier called Prison Field that traps all inhabitants inside it, in order to prevent their escape. Elsewhere, we see that Rimuru is bidding farewell to his students, since this is his last day at the school. But, Chloe starts crying, and, in order to calm her down, Rimuru gives her Shizu's real mask. He also gives everyone some new clothes, weaved by Shuna, as a gift. On his way back home, Rimuru is suddenly trapped by a barrier, and before Soie's body double could warn him, it disappears because of the barrier. Just then, he is ambushed by Hinata Sakaguchi, who has been dispatched by the Western Church with the orders of killing Rimuru Tempest. Rimuru tries to act like an idiot in order to hide his identity, but Hinata already knows about him and his country with the help of her informant that we talked about at the beginning of this video. While they are talking things out, Rimuru realizes that the Tempest Federation is also a target of the Western Holy Church, and he thinks that it is probably under attack as well. Meanwhile, at the Tempest Federation, just as Gobta is about to be killed, Hakuru jumps in and starts fighting the gay boy.
Run out! Kill you! Child's play.
I don't even need my all-seeing eye. Get ready to finally pass on to the afterlife.
Shuna reveals that the barrier also has the power to weaken the abilities of all living beings that are monsters. Due to which, he gets defeated pretty easily. And the same thing happens while Xian is trying to fight this dipshit.
Now die!
But just before the fight could end, the main forces of the Falmouth army invade the city, and, to add the icing on their cake of cruelty, they start killing everyone in their path, while the citizens are running desperately for their lives. Back to Rimuru. While both of them are talking, he finds out that Hinata's main motive for killing him is to avenge her former master, since she thinks that it was Rimuru who has killed her. Even though he tries to explain his situation, she doesn't believe him, and an intense fight begins between the two.
Whoa! I said wait! Barrier. I underestimated you.
Even though Rimuru tries to keep up with her attack, he is weak because of the barrier, and she overwhelms him completely.
And strength and body!
「
reveals that her sword can kill anything after 7 strikes. She has struck him with her sword for 6 times already, and, just as she is about to get in that last strike, Rimuru uses his skill, Gluttony, while he gets stabbed by her for the 7th time. If you have enjoyed the video so far, you should definitely watch this next.